forget this. On October 24th of this year, another conference of the member countries of the Coalition of the Willing was held in London. Well, now everyone understands the meaning of the phrase Coalition of the Willing. Yes, exactly. These are this very regimes who became very enthusiastic and eager when they realized that they can make some money at this very point of the Zelensky regime, which is at the point of its extinction. And this deal cannot be further implemented because they are no longer going to be accountable before Zelensky, but they will be able to put the money and the funds into their pockets. These are the members of this Coalition of the Willing. So this conference took place at the top level. It was co-chaired by Britain and France. However, it was not possible to convene a full-format summit. Many participants, including one of the co-chairs of the event, French President Macron, joined remotely. The hosts of the meeting gave a demonstratively warm welcome to the regular of such gatherings. Vladimir Zelensky could not miss such an opportunity. He was received personally at Windsor Castle by King Charles III with a salute and the inspection of the guards. There was an impression that those were some leftovers from the Trump visit. Apparently, being impressed by all this, the head of the Kiev regime launched into verbiage on the topic of endless terror and ruthless strikes by Russia on the Ukrainian energy system. But there was the slip of the tongue. He also thanked the sponsors for the promises of financial support, but he forgot to mention in London where this money goes and how many children died that are allegedly cared about, due to the reason that those so-called democratic states arm Ukraine and arm Zelensky, send more and more money to Ukraine, to Zelensky. They also provide political assistance. They do this rigorously without consideration to their own principles. Also, Zelensky spoke in favor of a more substantive diplomacy, which in his view would be realized through political pressure, sanctions, and the supply of long-range weapons to the AFU. I do not know where this diplomacy comes from. I understand that these are empty words for him. I'm just curious. Following the meeting, British Prime Minister Starmer, Macron and Zelensky signed a joint statement which outlined the priority task until the end of the current year. Among them are building up the graduation supply of military products to Ukraine, strengthening its air defense systems, completing negotiations of the use of frozen, in essence stolen Russian assets for the further support of Kiev regime, and continuing work on security guarantees, including the parameters for the deployment of so-called multinational forces in Ukraine after the end of hostilities. And they had a great opportunity of making up things and fancies. But they have no soul in the common understanding of the world. As the discussions in London showed, the Coalition of the Willing is increasingly shifting the focus of its attention from purely military assistance to the topics of using financial and economic levers of pressure on Russia. Experts rightly noted that the attempts of the Willing to find ways to help Vladimir Zelensky and at the same time to profit from the immobilized Russian assets and the income from them prove that the resources of the European sponsors of the Kiev regime are running out. This is also confirmed by the discussion that has begun among the generous allies of the idea to lay a hand on private assets of Russian origin in the amount of about 25 billion euros frozen in European banks. Against this background, Russia's objective approaches to resolving the Ukrainian crisis on the basis of eliminating its root causes are meeting with ever wider understanding from foreign leaders and politicians. Support for our peaceful aspirations is invariably expressed by colleagues from the countries of the global South and East. Increasingly clear are the just reproaches addressed to the European Union countries which are preventing the negotiation process and contributing in every possible way to the escalation of the conflict. With similar Condemnation addressed to those Eurohawks, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban and member of the U.S. House of Representatives Anna Paulina Luna have spoken out in recent days, including other public figures.